Welcome to the PDR Sports Webcast. I'm sports reporter Kevin Morales alongside sports editor Travis Huslett. And the first topic we're going to talk about today is something we haven't touched on yet, mostly because it's been kind of a painful season for the Milwaukee Brewers, who are now 12.5 games out of first place in the NL Central. Travis, to tell you the truth, I'm not really surprised that the Brewers have struggled this season after losing CC last year. We just didn't have a player like that to replace him, and I think Doug Melvin and everybody knew at the beginning of the season that the pitching staff wasn't up to par with what you need to win. A couple stats for you. In the National League this year, the Brewers have scored the 5th most runs, but their pitching staff has given up the 2nd most runs, and obviously you're not going to win when you're pitching like that. So, Travis, what do the Brewers have to do in the offseason to get back to the playoffs?
Well, Kevin, they got to find pitching, simply put. And it's probably going to have to come via a trade, which is the reason everyone thinks that J.J. Hardy's probably playing his final games as a Brewer. He's the main guy that they got that they could trade away because they got Escobar waiting to play every day at shortstop. It's probably going to take more than just Hardy, though, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Corey Hart was thrown in with a package deal to obtain a quality starter. They could maybe upgrade a catcher, too. Also, Kendall's showing his age, and Rivera's probably nothing more than a backup. That's another position they could probably get some help at. But those are the two main things I think they need to tackle. Also, on Friday, coming up here, is a big football game in town right here in Portage. Baraboo at Portage, and the reason it's a big game is because both teams are winless, and this is going to be an exciting game because both teams are going to be hungry. It's probably the biggest game on the schedule for both of them. I mean, it's a prime opportunity for a win, and both these teams are hungry for that victory. So I don't know who's going to win, but I'm looking forward to seeing the game and find out how it goes.
A couple quick stats right here on that game. Portage and Baraboo share common opponents this season in Madison, Edgewood, and Stoughton. Obviously, they lost both those games. Both teams did. But the combined Portage score was Portage lost 63-13 to those two teams, while Baraboo lost 83-9. And Portage's offense and defense, at least statistically, played better in those two games than Baraboo. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Portage is going to win. But like you said, huge game for both teams. And another big week of college football coming up, especially in the Big Ten, where everybody has their conference openers. All the experts have Ohio State and Penn State penciled in at the top of the conference standings when the year ends. But Travis and I are going to talk about who's going to finish third. And when we did our predictions a couple weeks ago, I said the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and the Gophers have played all right. But I think Michigan has really been the team that's impressed so far. They had that huge win over Notre Dame, and their offense, Tate Forcier, and has thrived, and the offense has thrived in Rich Rodriguez's system. So I think they've really impressed. Travis, who do you think?
Well, Kevin, I like Michigan also. Tate Forcier has looked really good at quarterback, but before I pick them, I think I'd like to see how he plays on the road. All of his games have been at home, and being kind of a young freshman, it's probably a little harder for someone like him on the road. So if I had to pick a team that could crack the top three, I think the winner of Saturday's game between Wisconsin and Michigan State has an opportunity to do just that. The reason I like Wisconsin is I've been really impressed with their quarterbacks, and a key thing on their schedule is there's no Penn State. So that's one game right there that if you don't have to deal with the Nittany Lions, that's in favor of the Badgers. So I think those either one of those two teams could do it. Maybe Iowa. Iowa's looked good too. They have a couple wins over Arizona last Saturday and previously over Iowa State. At least those are some bigger schools. So maybe they're ready to crack the top of the Big Ten Conference. On Sunday, we had the Packer game, which was kind of ugly. The offensive line for the second straight day was basically a sieve. Aaron Rodgers was being pressured all game, and they got to fix that. I know just listening to a lot of people on radio and that they want the Packers to go out and sign Mark Tauscher, which would be great, but you got to figure if he was ready to go from his injury last season, he'd probably be on someone's roster right now. So I hope the Packers are looking for solutions to their offensive line problem. Looks like Chad Clifton isn't going to be ready to go after hurting his ankle. So what do? My feeling is they're probably going to have to get it done with whoever's on the roster now. So that's just kind of the way I think they're going to have to deal with it. Now I'll turn it over to Kevin for our our Athlete of the Week. Here we go.
The Portage Daily Register Athlete of the Week award is going to go to Portage volleyball player junior Mackenzie Ziegler, who led the Warriors to a second-place finish over the weekend at the Iowa Grant Invite. She averaged just over 10 kills per match, and she's really had a great season. I remember a couple matches ago, she had 41 kills against Sauk. Joanne Armson says, she's a great player, and obviously Joanne's coached quite a few herself. So congratulations to Mackenzie. And we've got another full slate of prep football games coming up on Friday. We've got Baraboo at Portage, Marquezan at Partyville, Montello, Princeton, Green Lake at Johnson Creek, Poinet at Lodi, Randolph at Cambria-Friesland, Rio at Williams Bay, Wisconsin Dells at Westfield. And remember, you can write us with any questions or comments you might have. We'd love to make this an interactive show and read your emails online and stuff like that. For Travis, I'm Kevin. Thanks for joining us.